Alright, hello everyone, and let's get started. So first and foremost, let's look at the S&P 500. So basically, as you can see, yesterday actually closed a little bit higher above this 50 simple moving average. So right now, what I've mentioned, wait, this on the wrong time frame. Sorry. So let's switch back to the right time frame. Okay, so on the S&P 500, like what I mentioned, right now it's in a very consolidation kind of pattern. You're seeing a range bound kind of pattern forming over here, whereby support is forming here, support is forming here, and potential resistance is forming over here. So in terms of potential for trade setup, if you have entered this trade, I will still stick to it. The target remains here and here. So market structure wise remain technically speaking, you'll be seeing here this is a high, this is a lower high, this is a okay, this is a high, this is a higher high, this is a low, this is a lower low. So it's found to be a neutral market structure with a bullish trend. And in terms of the strength of the trend, it's actually normal. Yeah. Yes, because the 200, as you can see, is 3022.2, which is actually below the 3022.8. So yeah. Okay, so in terms of any potential trade setup, that is basically it. Now let's move on to Nasdaq. Okay, so over Nasdaq, as you can see, it has made an even higher high close on the daily chart, which is looking really bullish. So in addition to making just recently all-time high, it has once again made an even higher high. So this 20 exponential moving average has been a good support. So if it does fall to it, you could look for potential long setup, like what I've done over here. So this trade, you have definitely been in it, and you haven't hit the first target profit yet. If once you hit it, you can take probably 30 to 50% of your position and let the remainder ride with these 20 exponential moving as the trailing stop loss. Okay, so in terms of the trend line, it's definitely looking bullish, making higher high and higher lows. And the strength is clearly very strong now, especially since it's even supported at the 20 exponential moving average. So yep, that's the latest update for Nasdaq. And moving on to gold, it actually dropped a little bit on the daily chart, but otherwise the overall momentum on uptrend still remains valid. So market structure wise is still bullish because you got a high, a higher high, a low, a higher low. Alright, so that's the update for gold. Like I mentioned, the next potential setup would be depending on how the price react over at this region at 1008, which is the key resistance, or over here the support, which is at 1740 to 50 region. Okay. Now moving on to Euro and USD, what you see over here is like what I mentioned, if you entered on this potential, this trade setup earlier over here, then definitely I will still be sticking to it, because ultimately support on this 20 exponential moving average is shown to be supportive one time and the second time. So I'll look forward for potential upside over at this area, which is the first level of resistance. Or if you choose to take a little bit profit earlier because this is 2.21 risk to reward, you can choose to take say some profit around here and then the remainder profit here. Or you can even choose to trail your remainder 50% of your position. Yeah, in terms of market structure wise, what you see here is a low, a higher low, a high, and a higher high. So over here, you actually got a bullish market structure back again. And price is above the 200 simple moving average. And over here, you get the 50 simple moving average on top. And then you get the 150 simple moving average at the bottom. So it's still not aligned fully yet. So I would call it as a normal strength in terms of the trend price. About to cross over actually. And finally for Bitcoin. So over on Bitcoin in terms of the daily chart, what you see here is a low, a higher low, a high, and a higher high. So in terms of market structure wise, daily chart has turned bullish. Trend is also bullish because price is very much above. And yeah, and you get 50, 150, and 200 align very nicely as well. Although you do see the 50 simple moving average flatlining, which means to say the angle is more like horizontal. So in which case it does show some sort of a weakness or some sort of potential pullback. But yeah, if you're looking to trade on the 4-hour chart, I will lean towards the bullish momentum. But let's take a look at the 4-hour chart instead. So over at the 4-hour chart, what I would want to do to enter a long setup is very simple. Say for example, you have over this is a retracement. I will draw this, and this will be a potential pullback. So let's remove this first. So in terms of market structure wise, currently right now on the 4-hour you get a high, a lower high, a low, and potentially lower low. So until this candle close in the next 1 hour, I haven't have a confirmed bearish market structure. Instead, what you get a low, a higher low, and a high, a low high. So it's still in a neutral market structure, but it could possibly turn bearish if it closes below where it is right now. Okay, so if you ask me, would I consider going a short? The answer is no, not on the 4-hour time frame for the entry time frame, because right now you're on the daily chart, you see this is a bullish market structure. I will actually only look for a long setup. So if I was looking for a long setup, what I'll do is I'll look for a pullback, that pullback which is this current pullback, and then it breaks upwards, and then the potential back to the market structure in terms of the 1-hourly chart. So the 1-hourly chart, what I will want to see is like potential here, here, this is a low, this is a high, this is a low. I want it to go with a higher high before I enter a long setup. So the idea is that I'm using the daily chart as the main guidance time frame for the biasness in terms of the direction, and I'm using the 4-hour chart to look for potential entry, and I can zoom in for the 1-hour chart to have a much earlier entry than I would have with just a 4-hour chart. So the 1-hour chart is mainly for assistance in this particular case. So mainly I'm relying mainly on the 4-hour chart for entry, and the daily chart is the guidance for the biasness. So yeah, that's the update for the day. And yeah, if you're looking for a potential short, what I would want it to do is you can, because right now over here, if you're trading based on the 4-hour chart, and then you use the 4-hour chart as the guidance, this will be a bearish market structure. I will look for potential continuation in terms of bearish momentum. So over here, you see a very nice bearish momentum. You could look for potential short over here. But be aware that because right here is actually the previous resistance potentially turn into support. So I don't see a good region for your target profit. You could target over here, or you could target over here. But yeah, so just be aware that because on daily chart, it's ultimately still on the bullish momentum wise, market structure wise. So yeah, that's the update for today. I would say that I don't see in my potential setup for today would still be to look for a long, but for me to look for a long, the bullish market structure. So yeah, uh, yep. So that's basically about it. If you want to enter a long, wait for here forming higher highs, and when it breaks above these 925 volts, 9255 again. Let's look at the price action. So yeah, I want it to break above here, the 9275 region. So basically, let's draw it up. I want it to go right back up here, and then it will start to consolidate. And if it starts to consolidate and break nicely above it, so potentially what I see is over here, you get here, you get here, yeah. So this is the kind I wanted to break above it and closes above. I'll look for potential long setup with a quick risk to reward setup, and then I'll target somewhere along here. Yeah, the first target will be 9,400, the second target will be 9,500. So basically 9,004 to 9,005 is the target. Yep, so that's the update for today. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.